All right, this is the March 23rd edition of the video here on this Wednesday. Big storm system working into the region, and I'm going to talk really all about that here in today's edition of the video. That's a look here just after 7 a.m. from our camera that is perched on top of the Dowd YMCA. A lot of clouds, and we have some generally very light rain that has been working through parts of the Charlotte metro. The intensity of the rain picks up as you head further west in the state. 62 the temperature, a southeast wind already cranking, 13 gusting to 23 miles per hour in Charlotte. Temperatures much warmer this morning than at this point in time back on Tuesday morning. And a lot of the temperature sensors that are run by the FAA, they're having a bit of a data outage this morning. So a lot of the temperature sensors offline, but upper 50s and lower 60s for most of us across the region this morning. Up in the mountains, mainly 50s. Banner Elk a little cooler at 47. Columbia, 59. Wilmington, 66. 57 in Roanoke and 52 in Richmond, Virginia. All right, there's your weather map. A couple things to note here. First of all, the main low pressure area pulling further and further away to the north. That's heading into the Great Lakes region. Trailing cold front, though, still has a pretty good punch with it, and that is working into the Carolinas. So yesterday, a very active severe weather day, especially focused around Mississippi and the surrounding areas. Most of these symbols in Mississippi are either damaging wind reports that occurred or tornado reports. And then just an incredibly tragic evening, yesterday evening in parts of the New Orleans metro. You had a significant tornado move through the eastern side of New Orleans, and based on the video I've seen of the tornado and just the very early pre-dawn videos of the damage, I think that one may be at least an EF3, and that's not an everyday occurrence there in New Orleans. Bottom line is it was a big-time tragic tornado, and actually for a period of time you had two tornadoes on the ground at the same time, one in New Orleans on the east side of the city and then another on the north shore. Now that same system is working into our region. Now if you watch my video back, I guess it was Monday morning, either Sunday or Monday, I mentioned that I thought the severe weather setup was not quite as stout here as what was going to occur off to the west. And I stand by that. Yes, we do have the chance for a few storms to push strong to severe limits today. But for a lot of the region, especially the western half of North and South Carolina, I just don't see this as a big, prolific severe weather outbreak. But as always, we're going to watch it carefully. Now, as I cut the video, it's raining pretty heavily in the mountains, parts of the foothills, and the rain getting steadier and steadier out across the Charlotte metro as the upper level forcing begins to move in and causes this rain shield to expand. Now there's a look at temperatures for highs today, and exactly how warm we get, that'll determine how unstable the air gets. That's one of the main ingredients you have to monitor for severe weather potential. And I do think when you look at the Charlotte area, we have the potential for some damaging gusts of wind, a limited chance for a spin-up tornado or two. Any of the storms could produce some pretty good cloud-to-ground lightning, and certainly the chance for some localized flash flooding issues, although I think the better chances of that are going to be in the mountains and the foothills in terms of the flash flooding. There's your rain chances, just for instance in Charlotte, high through the day, and then they begin to taper off pretty significantly as we get toward mid-evening. So this is what it looks like on Futurecast at 11 a.m. We then fast forward through the afternoon. Notice as we get into the afternoon, the activity gets more scattered in nature. That is when the air can probably get a little bit more unstable. So I think that is when we have our greatest chance for severe weather late in the day today. We'll say early to mid-afternoon onward into the early evening hours. Everything then shuts down overnight, and cooler and drier air begins to filter on in. All right, so that's the weather setup. Let me show you a little bit of the more detailed modeling for today. All right, so here's a look at the European model, and this is the CAPE, basically the amount of unstable air, the amount of unstable air, the energy available for developing thunderstorms today. So as we go into the afternoon, notice just not much there. Eventually, by the end of the day, now that's 22Z, so that would be 6 p.m. today. That's when the air gets more unstable in a more widespread fashion. So it's late this afternoon, early this evening, when we have the greatest chance for a few strong to severe storms. Let me see if I can show you what it looks like on the North American model here. And it's going to be a similar scenario. And typically the NAM is one of the more aggressive models with CAPE. Sometimes it's overdone. Notice it does get much more unstable late afternoon. That's right there, for instance. That is, well, that's the same deal. That's 6 p.m. But so late afternoon into the evening, that's our most unstable time period. Now, some of the upper level dynamics are pulling out by that point in time, so there's only really kind of a brief overlap with the most unstable air and the better dynamics, the better wind energy with this system. So one more chart I'll show you, and this is going to be we'll just look at this, the helicity, the amount of turning of the winds with height. Now, this is lunchtime today. Now, remember, all right, that's the time frame where you start to get the more unstable air in. And notice those helicity values, they're still there. They're still enough to support severe weather, but they're trending down. So there'll be a little overlap, I think, say mid-afternoon into early evening, when we have the best opportunity to get the overlap of the wind energy and the thermodynamics, the unstable air, to create the severe weather potential. We'll watch it carefully, as always, and we'll keep you completely up to date on Spectrum News 1. Temperatures then trend cooler for the weekend, and weekend looks pretty quiet and progressively chillier. I think we could have a widespread, at least patchy frost scenario Sunday morning with a freeze likely in the mountains. All right, remember, we'll have all the weather updates for you through the day and night ahead on Spectrum News 1 on television. Check out the Spectrum News app as well. I'm meteorologist Matthew East. Have a great way of hearing weather watches and warnings today. We'll keep you up to date on television and on the app. And stay safe, and God bless.